Yo, yo, hey everyone. James Patrick here, just saying what's up on live stream. It's a big day today at Slam Academy and in Ableton World because we are all stoked about Ableton Live 12. Of course, you've seen it all over the internet, and here we are. Let me turn off my little monitoring junk, and boop, yeah, we're killing it. So, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So if you want to say what's up, do that. I'm over here on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube, and I'm a Ableton certified trainer. I actually have been contracting with Ableton since 2003, so that makes me really old. And I'm psyched to be here for live version 12. I've been using Ableton since version 2, and so that's 10 versions. I'm on my 10th version. That's pretty cool. And I really love teaching people how to make music and This is a casual stream. I'm just here to have fun and hang out with y'all. So if anyone wants to kick it with me and say hi, do it. Looks like we got a few people in the chat already. Doug is here. Hey, Doug, what's up, buddy? Nice. Um, Thanks for liking us, Panda Cookies. And hey, what's up to Kligenesaxi too? Just saying hi to everyone out in the chats and pumped to be here. Yeah, it's a special time, partially just for me because, well, I just love this software, but also because it's really hard to not talk about this stuff. you know, you, it's like, I'm making music with people in Ableton every day, and people are always, excited about what's next. And I'm just like, nothing. And so now we get to finally talk about this amazing software. So, yeah, if anyone has any questions as we go, feel free to bop in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on it. And I'm just going to be here hanging out for maybe an hour, 45 minutes or an hour, and just answering questions about Ableton, and also just hopefully having a good time kicking it with y'all. So, yeah, I just kind of want to hide some of these special things that I have on my screen, and I'm going to get us started. So, hello, Zeev. Thanks for being here, and yeah, thanks for everyone for coming through. If you're just showing up, yeah, my name is James Patrick. I have a school called Slam Academy. We have been around for about 12 years, but I've been teaching for about 20, and it's been a riot. Ableton is a wonderful company of really great people, and it's really fun to be a part of their movement. They're like the opposite of a bunch of corporate bloodsuckers. They're just actually here to really help other people make music and have fun. So through that process, they've managed to collect a bunch of really passionate and inspired people, myself included, who just want to kind of preach the Ableton message, and also just really ultimately help people have a greater and more stronger path of joy in their life. One thing I say in class a lot is that capitalism and modern society and being creative are oftentimes really at odds, because it's like, oh, how do you make money doing this and all that? And the reality is life, money is great, but life is more than that. And I want to be a part of the movement of people who are here to live and enjoy their lives. And making music is one of the top 3 things in my life that bring me joy. And it's really, really wonderful being able to just preach the gospel of inner happiness and passion and love for life. And music is just a great vessel for that. So without further ado, let's slide over to Ableton, or as I like to call it sometimes, Glableton. That's a nerd joke, a little Simpsons humor. I'm going to fade us over now, and we can take a look at this. So this is my first time using this background for a live stream since COVID. So it's been a while, but I'm happy to be back with us. Again, I'm watching the chat. Thank you for the compliment, Jade. I love your last name. We should hang out sometime. Cute mode. You just upgraded to 11. Hopefully that was sometime after 4 a.m. Central Time this morning. Otherwise, you might just rock 11 for a little while. The upgrade path is not super expensive, but they usually give amnesty upgrades to people who purchase new versions after the announcement, which again was about noon Berlin time today, so about 8-9 hours ago. So I also want to say hey to JK Music with a question. Ableton Live 11 Standard today will be upgraded to 12 for free. You actually can't buy 11 anymore. Once they make the announcement, you'll be able to buy 11, but it will, to answer your question more accurately, yes, it will be a free upgrade. So as soon as they make the announcement, which again was about 4 a.m. our time, Central here in the US, anyone who buys the software will get a free upgrade. So hell yeah, JK. Just make sure, honestly, if I can give you a real strong pro tip, this is from the heart. So if you go to a place like Slam Academy, you will get 40% off the Ableton software. And so if you buy the suite, that ends up being about $400 and change, maybe 440. So you'll save about $380 on the software. And a membership at Slam Academy is $100. So if you want to be smart and get some free education along the way, just activate a membership at Slam Academy, shameless plug, and then you will get access to saving like hundreds of dollars on the software. And as another serious pro tip, just don't even mess with the standard version. I haven't even seen the standard version, honestly, in years because the suite is what you need. The suite offers everything you need if you're going to really take this seriously, especially if you just want to like create your own sound. If you want to do something more than just recording yourself singing and playing guitar, you need the suite because that's where you get access to all the cool instruments, all the cool sound design tools and audio effects, as well as so many of the incredible features I'm going to cover today are only in the suite. So it's cool that they have a cheaper version, but frankly, like if you're going to take this even moderately seriously, I would insist as your attorney to just go for it and get the suite. And it's $800, but it'll be about $400 or so if you become a member at Slam. So let's be smart and go ahead and activate a membership. You can do that at slamacademy.com. And then as soon as you do, you can go right to Ableton's website and buy the software. And, we'll even give you a special like kind of backdoor link into their website, their educational shopping link. It's it is there's kind of a private access that we have, and you'll be able to go there, buy the software, get educational discounts on everything there, excluding the push, and you will be able to save that scratch and spend it on Christmas presents for yourself, like maybe a push or something. And looks like somebody really cool in the chat just posted a link to our website. Thank you. Yeah, so JK Music, once you do become a member, make sure you bop over to our private Discord server, which is teeming with educational resources and tips and tricks and track feedback and everything. And then you can say hi to me. I'm just James Patrick at Slam on our Discord. So, oh, another nice comment in the chat. You guys are so sweet. I'm just really having fun hanging out with you. You're making me feel like a unicorn. I might put my hat on so my horn doesn't pop out. It'd be embarrassing. But yeah, anyway, you guys are looking on the screen right now at Ableton Live 12. Pretty cool, huh? I've been just chomping at the bit to share this with the world, and so I couldn't resist going live today. We are going to be going live again at 5 p.m. Central for those people who are working 9 to 5s. But I'm so glad the rest of you are here. It's so great. So yeah, I guess let's just get into it. Yeah, so yeah, of course, any questions about Slam Academy or how to become a member or what it includes? I mean, have you guys ever heard of Virtual Riot or Vibe Squad or Evoke or Prismatic or even Mike Rat or James Patrick? I mean, we've got a really amazing squad of instructors there, and you get direct access to all those people along with your membership. So yeah, Virtual Riot, cough. He's a wonderful human being, and we're so lucky to have him as well as all of our instructors at Slam. So, but yeah, let's get into it. So let's see. So Ableton Live 12, it's right in front of you. You'll notice right away when you look at it, there's a whole bunch of subtle but lovely aesthetic improvements. The mixer faders are bigger and nicer. You can, of course, scale them as you've been able to in previous versions. But just everything's a little more smooth and tight looking. And then if you look closely, you'll see a ton of really fun improvements in here. Like just to cover some of the surface level stuff before we get into the really cray-cray business. One thing that's new that's really neat is the browser up here has this edit function where you can customize tags for things. And once you've like found a cool sound or device and you've tagged it, you can close that and then you can search for it. Like this parameter sequencer is like a modulation sequencer. You know, I could go down and I could find modulation tools or something in here and I could click on it. Boobity bop 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 ba bop. Here's a sequencer and I click sequencer and now that is tagged on that particular sound Nice. And so then later when I type in sequencer up in the search field, it's going to find that junk for me. So you can totally customize tags on anything, and that is really, really nice. They really were using this collections thing for a while, which is cute, but it's really simplistic compared to the tag edit function. So this is like a whole pile of metadata. And if you're into doing sound design and making your own sound libraries or saving your own presets or racks, that is really handy to be able to find them later. Nick Bean has a question in the chat. Happens if you have the full suite. Yeah, so the upgrade path is quite affordable. It's like usually it's right around $300. There is not an educational discount on an upgrade, unfortunately, or at least historically there hasn't been. They may change that, but you would just go to your user account page at ableton.com and just make sure you're logged in, and then just start shopping, and you can buy the upgrade, and then they'll add it to your account, and then you'll have 12. So the cool thing about Ableton, I don't know, just to compare like the Skynet of electronic music, or music production, I should say, if anyone's ever familiar with Pro Tools out there. Pro Tools is kind of the industry standard. Like if you were a recording engineer in Nashville or something and recording ukuleles and stuff, you would use Pro Tools. And Pro Tools is really just a software for recording bands. And they put out new versions like every 2 months, and then you have to pay every single time, and it's actually brutalist. And Ableton hates that model, and so what they do is they put out a whole new integer number like live 10, live 11, live 12, like every 3 to 5 years, and that's when you have to pay a little bit. But all the sub updates, like 11.0.572, all those things, those are all free. So you really only have to give Ableton money once every 3 to 5 years. And again, like I mentioned, if you're a member at Slam Academy, you get 40% off the software. So as your attorney, I advise you to head to slamacademy.com and become a member. Okay, cool. So enough sales stuff. We're talking about Ableton 12. Thanks for the question, though, Nick. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So yeah, we're talking about the search field. That's really cool. Another thing that's really dope, and this is one of my favorite features that also has to do with the browser up here, is if you're looking around in your sounds and you find a sound that you like, well, actually it'll be really, this is most effective in the samples tab. You click on samples and you find a sound you like maybe let's see. This is a full track. There's a nice cool kick drum. So I like that sound. You'll notice over on the far right, I've got this little wavy line button. This is the Find Similar Sounds tab, and this is wicked because, for instance, you could be like, okay, I like that kick. Let's drag it over here onto a track. But then I can also just come on back over and hit the Similar Sounds button, and then it uses like not quite AI but damn near close, and it gives you results of similar sounds. This is dope. It's actually kind of a fun experiment because now you can click around and listen to other sounds that are similar. So for like, I know it's wicked. And so one thing they said to me a couple months ago, they said, you'll end up finding sounds you have in your library that you didn't know you have. And I can vouch for that because, you end up reaching for the same sounds just because you know you like them and you're in there. But you will collect millions of samples over the years, and it can be a really nasty drag when you have to sift through those presets, and it can be really brutal. So what you can do is you can just find a cool bass sound or a cool kick drum or whatever you're looking for and hit the Similar Sounds button, and the robot will do the work for you, and then bam, now you're finding those sounds, and that's wicked, right? So yay. And of course, once you find one you like, you can hit the edit button and you can modify the tags so it'll be easier to find later. What a cool workflow. God. So in addition to that, the Similar Sounds function, I'm going to go ahead and grab a factory drum kit. So I'm going to hide my little search field and close my kicks folder and yada yada dee dee dee. So here's just like some, I don't know, these drum kits. So I'm going to grab one. And I load this preset drum rack to this MIDI track. And you're like, okay, this is a pretty cool drum kit. I should have my push connected, but I don't right now. But I can go ahead and pop a couple notes off here. And you can be like, okay, these are cool sounds. Try and find one I don't like. I actually like this kit. This is a pretty good one. There you go, the bass sound. You're like, that's cute, but I kind of want a better bass sound here. So what I'm going to do is, all I got to do is click on the Find Similar Sounds button on the drum machine. Oh boy. And I'll get this Previous or Next button right on the pads. Oh my God. This is euphoric. So you're like, that's cool. Hold on. Next. And you usually don't have to wait that long when I'm live streaming. So there's a similar one. You know, and there's a search for similar sounds within the interface of the drum rack, and this is absolutely baller. Because you can find a cool kit, but then you'll be like, this cowbell is whack or whatever, and you can flip through different sounds right through the kit, and that is great. Of course, you can drag individual sounds right on, but just being able to flip through the next one is awesome. And a really great pro tip is if you want to lock one in so it doesn't get cycled through, you can hit the little padlock button, and now it'll be stuck in there and it won't change it. So like if you have a sound in your kit you really like, but you're flipping through a bunch of different ones, this is especially handy for the push because they give you a knob to cycle through your sounds, and it'd be easy to accidentally cycle out a sound that you really like. So they give you a little padlock function in there. Isn't that tight? I gotta say, what's up to Clayton Johnson? Is that Clazer the Laser? My boy. If it's not, please forgive me, but Clayton, hey buddy. And yeah, isn't that just lovely? The similar sounds thing is a subtle but mega improvement. Yeah, it's just really rad. So check that out. So in the browser, we covered the edit button. We covered customizing tags, searching for tags, and finding similar sounds, and finding similar sounds in the kit. So already live 12, right? It's really, really rad. So yeah, hey Clayton, good to see you. So glad to see all you people in the chat. You guys are killing it. Makes me happy to see a good energy out there. And are you guys supposed to be at work? You're hiding in the bathroom. That's cool. I won't tell anyone. So onward, if you guys want to move on to some other really fun things that are kind of under the hood but wicked, you'll notice if you look across the top on the control bar, right here where my mouse is, this is the scale aware function. And so what this does is this allows you to choose the key of your song and the mode, and then everything you create, as long as it's in scale aware mode, as far as the individual clips or devices, they will be in that key. So sorry to all you people who went to Juilliard for 20 years or whatever, because really, I mean, of course, music theory is great, but this saves us a lot of hassle. So being able to, for instance, say E minor, and now I can just look at any like melodic or harmonic clip. I'm going to go to like, I have some chords here, for instance. I can look, there we go. And so now I can see automatically the little scale aware button, the little purple guy is turned on, and that's going to be active. And like, just to look even beyond that, I can look at the new arpeggiator. You can see this guy, this thing is just juice. So many new little improvements in here, but this is also scale aware. So now, bam, it just automatically, everything it arpeggiates is in key. God. I've made a lot of tutorials and tips and tricks about how to keep your music in key, and I'm about to take all those down because now you just hit that little button on the control bar called Scale Aware, and that's a long overdue function. I mean, like, I think Logic had that about 15 years ago. So that makes two people hiding in the BT the bathroom. Yeah, that's commitment though. That's real love. So, but yeah, scale aware is really tight. One of my favorite functions of scale aware, and this is like really cool. I'm just gonna make a new MIDI track, and I'm gonna grab like a wavetable synth of some sorts, just the default wavetable preset. And over here in my MIDI effects, almost all of the MIDI effects are scale aware. So, but one that I really like a lot is the chord effect. This is just really tight because watch what you can do here. First of all, with the chord effect, and this does not have to do with scale aware, but like here, I'm going to play a little melody. I'll go up a couple octaves. Now what I can do is I can say, all right, that's cute, but let's learn. So now what I can do is I can play some chords. Like, how about if I do like a C minor chord? Right, so by pressing that, boom, I've got a C minor chord programmed into the scale. I can turn learn off, and then any note I play is going to be in minor. There's juice, isn't it? So that's really tight. But in addition to that, I also can, of course, just put it in scale aware mode. And once it's in scale aware mode, these are no longer semitones. You'll notice it says SD instead of ST because these are scale degrees. So, you could be like minor third, right? You could go to, perfect fifth, and then now it's just, now it's automatically in key. And of course, you can also learn in scale aware mode. What's neat about this is you can just like let the cat run across the keyboard. And now those are all perfectly in E minor. This is wicked, right? God. So scale aware is really cool. It exists in almost all the MIDI clips, and it's just really powerful, especially in the context of MIDI. So that is neat. I got a question in the chat. Will the integration work with push 2? Nick Bean, I'm going to guess what you mean when you say the integration. Push 2 will be fully compatible with everything in Live 12. So feel free to elaborate on what you meant by the integration. But otherwise, if you're just talking about Push 2 working with Live 12, absolutely. Push 2 will continue to be supported, as is Push 1. Probably, for a really, really long time. So no need to stress about those hardware devices not working anymore. Especially Push 2. That thing is still ripe. Here's a question from C. Leganasaxi. I'm sorry I'm murdering your name. If you pick MIDI notes in C but change the scale aware to D, does Live change the scale to D? So that's a great question. Because, in a lot of like jazz and stuff, keys are changing all the time. The scale aware function on the control bar only relates to new things you're doing from now on. So if I have this in E minor and I make a bunch of stuff, oh yeah, Doug, hey Doug, sorry buddy. I make a bunch of stuff in E minor, then I'm cool. And then if I change this, then anything else I make will be in the new key, but the old stuff will still be in E minor. It doesn't actually transpose the stuff that's already created. It just relates to the new things that you're creating now. Vanilla Funk. Plugin scans can take a long time. I'll tell you from years of using Pro Tools and Logic that it's no longer in Ableton, or the time you have to wait is not necessarily longer in Ableton than it is in any other workstation. As a matter of fact, back to Pro Tools dissing, it was the absolute worst. In fact, if you had one plugin that was expired, Pro Tools would be crashing and shit. It was annoying. Ableton does a decent job. They do, let me rephrase that. They do a great job. If you click on plugins, you can turn on and off audio unit 2s and 3s and VST 2s and 3s, and then you can rescan right here. And the length of time that takes will, of course, be dependent on your processing power and on how many plugins you have installed. So good sass, though. Way to troll me. It worked. After Panda, after painting this unit, I'm buying oh, cool. Painting this unit. Panda, were you in painting school? So Aleli, Dracula. So far, and keep in mind it's still just in beta mode, but I can tell you, Miss Dracula, Mr. Dracula, that the stability for this beta is really, really solid. The actual public version, the full public release, won't be for quite a while. And generally, when you have something in really early beta, I've been running this for a while, there's all these bugs and stuff. But the team at Ableton, the developer team, has done a great job. I find this to be faster and more elegant and as solid, if not more, already than previous versions of Ableton. I've personally only bumped into a couple of weird bugs, and the things that I've found, keeping in mind this is like way before it was even a public beta, were fixed like immediately. They're doing a great job. It is solid. So, and as far as like snappy, I guess you're probably talking about fast. It's quite quick. And I'm running a very old MacBook Pro because I'm Poe, but I'm also just cheap. But I just like to run them into the ground, and this thing is solid. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the overall stability and speed of it. So that's a cool question. Thanks for asking. Yeah, so let's talk about a couple other cool tips. We've been talking about scale aware mode as it relates to MIDI clips. It, of course, also is in the, MIDI devices and MIDI clips. You'll find it in a few other places too. A couple of cool audio effects, and definitely in instruments they will have scale aware. While we're talking about notes and stuff, let's get this out of the way. If you're looking closely, you'll notice over here on the browser, there's this there's this tunings button now. And this is pretty neat because with tunings now, you have all these different tunings that it comes with, and you can actually load your own Scala files. So you can go to Google and just type in Scala, Scala. You can be like Aphex Twin Scala files, and you'll just find tons of them. The nerds like analyze micro tunings of famous music in the world, and then you can download them and drop them in here. And then any instrument that is MPE supported, which is, I believe, every instrument in Live 12, will then just automatically be micro-tuned to whatever Scala file you have loaded. My great example of that I think is really cool is if you were, say you were making like a soundtrack to a film that was set in like, I don't know, ancient China, you could just find an ancient Chinese scale, which of course, look, I even have a bunch of them right here. And then your music that you're making with like modern synthesizers and your MIDI keyboard will sound like it is coming from that era. I mean, that's neat. There's also all sorts of like modern experimental micro tunings that can be neat. You know, if you're kind of a serialist, which is a nerdy way to say somebody who wants to make like nonlinear music that doesn't follow rules. But yeah, I'm kind of one of those people too in a way. But yeah, so there's a question in the chat. I just bought Live 11 Suite. I have to commend Ableton on shooting me an email saying I'd be getting a free upgrade to 12. Oh, neat. So, somebody asked me in the chat earlier, they said they just bought Live 11 or something. Whoever that was, I Can't Frag has a great tip, and I guess they got an email from Ableton. Wow. Because usually what they'll do is they'll give you this amnesty upgrade anytime the announcement is made or after, but it sounds like they're blurring those lines a little bit. So whoever it was that asked earlier about getting an upgrade to 12 because you just bought 11 or whatever that was, scan your junk mail inbox because, yeah, if it was only 2 weeks ago, you might be all right. Oh, Frag was just bought it a couple weeks ago. And yeah, Dracula, open your chakras. Yeah, there's a really cool Max for Live device called Micro Tuner. And I'll just show it to you guys really quick if you want to get really, really trippy. And this is not really Live 12. This is just Live in general. And I'm accidentally putting it on this analog track. So I'm going to move that. I went to put it on my wavetable. Microtuner is a Max for Live device that allows you to load historic and modern experimental microtunings into any MPE supported instrument. And you can even customize those tunings, and it is really tight. It looks like this. I'm going to drag it over to my wavetable track just because I don't want to mess around with that analog patch I have loaded up. And check this, peep this steez. So if I have microtuner off and I play C major, and then I turn microtuner on, I can like grab different scales out of this preset library. Look at that, those are the same notes. Isn't that fun? All you have to do is make sure that your instrument is MPE supported, which again, even like Vital and Serum are. I know a few of you have maybe heard of those instruments, but all the native Ableton 12 devices are, and this is really sick because I haven't actually tried this, but let's try something. I'm going to go to tunings and find a weird tuning. Like, they're all weird, and I'm going to drop it. Come on! I'm just taking a risk. Oh, and it loaded it. Yeah, so you can drag it right onto the microtuner. So this is Qin Lusheng. So that's like a solid 2 octaves in 8 notes. Let's listen to the whole chromatic scale. That is beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, what if we put an arpeggiator on there? It would be so rad. I'm just going to mash a few keys down with this ARP on. This will be neat. A key. There we go. Oh, hi. D. So now we put the arpeggiator to the left of the microtuner. It's got to be first, right? Because it's going to arpeggiate the notes and then they're going to get tempered. So let's turn it off and you'll listen to my little, I don't know, standard minor triad. I'll slow this down a little bit. Now we're going to turn on the microtuner. And what's cool about this is I can actually literally go to the position I want. Like, let's transpose the middle one. That's position 3. And I can just go up to 3 and I can adjust this in sense. That's wicked, right? What if you turn let's play some chords, just hear some rub. Oh, wait, I was like, sounds pretty tempered. Here we go. That's what I was expecting. Yes, here's some major 7 chords. That's awesome. So so tunings field. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to keep going off the deep end there, but that is really fun. Microtuner is available to anyone using Live 10 or 11. And I think it's free, so check that out. But yeah, if you're using Live 12, you get that function built in, and you of course can use it right in the, it's global across the whole instruments, which is super cool. Question, just wanted to see if all new features that you said would be accessible through the push, would be accessible through push 2 and not just push 3. It depends on what kind of push you have, if you have a tethered or standalone one. If you are running Live 12, for the most part, the push 2 will be able to do and access the same software features. There won't really be software features that the push can't access as long as the hardware is capable. So in other words, if the push 2 has a button for it or a knob for it, it will access it in Live 12. There's no situation where upgrading your software from 11 to 12 while using a push 2 would break anything. Okay, does that make sense? Because yeah, there are no situations where that would happen. So yeah, if you have a push 2 and you're using Live and the push is capable of something and then you upgrade, the push will still be capable of that. They didn't really turn anything off. They only added stuff. Now, if you're talking about accessing some of these features, if the push 2 didn't access scale aware mode because that feature didn't exist when the push 2 was created, there's a possibility that the push 2 won't be able to access it in Live 12 either. But again, it couldn't access it in Live 11. So nothing is breaking. So you're not losing any functionality by upgrading your software. I hope I answered that question. But again, of course, like there are some things that the push 3 just does that the push 2 does not. And so that's a situation where, you know, there are relative limitations. Anyway, I hope I'm answering your question, Nick. Thanks for asking. And I'm stoked here to answer any more if anyone has any. So yeah, we were talking about the browser. We're talking about tags. We're talking about find similar sounds, talking about tunings, talking about MPE. I'm happy to open this up for questions. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's 11:30 in Minneapolis, and it's lovely. It could potentially be like freezing and snowing, but it's like 55 degrees out and sunny. And here I am in my basement. But it's Live 12 days, so I ain't mad about it. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and listen to this track. Does that sound fun? I got a little sketch here. I just made this in like one day. But it's a cool little kind of deep drum and bass situation. Let's see what it sounds like. Let me know in the stream if this works out or if this sounds okay. Oh yeah. Hey, Doug. I'm just about to get to all that. So yeah, there are new packs that do things that Ableton could never do before, and then there are 3 new devices that are absolutely off the hook. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. Oh wow. Mr. or Mrs. Dracula, person Dracula had to have someone write codes to open plugin windows. God, get out your pocket protector. Got your microscope and your glavin out? Just playing. That is cool, though. That would be a neat little thing if they had a button for popping out the plugin. I think, you know, they're really trying to keep Ableton as streamlined as possible. And they figure, you know what? Check it out. If you need to look at the plugin skin and click on it with your mouse, you probably are okay with clicking on the third-party skin to show the plugin, right? I guess that's their angle. Like if you're trying to access something that requires using your mouse and looking at a screen, it's not like the biggest deal if you have to use your mouse and look at the screen to do it. So maybe that's their angle. I don't know. Yes. So let's listen to this tune. Pardon the kind of slight sass. I'm just playing around, you know. I don't script any of this. And anyone who knows me knows I don't mean any harm. I'm just having fun. But props on having someone write some code to show a plugin scan. I mean, that's pretty cool. You can do that with Macs, you know, for live, but why? So here we go. So look, you'll notice something new right away on the screen. Notice how when I tab over to the arrangement view, what is this thing? What is this? Is this a mixer? I'm looking at my arrangement view. Hell yeah, it is. That is awesome. You can hit Option Command M. Same keyboard as it was, same key command as it was in Live 12 in previous versions. But now you're looking at the mixer on the arrangement view, which is just like simple but effective. And I'll also point out while we're talking about interface smoothness that you get to not only see your device window down here, but if you hit this little disclosure triangle right here, you can also see the clip. And then right here on top, you can see the envelopes or the MPE. And look, I'm on the arrangement view right now. I can see the mixer, the clip, and the device window. So even if I tab over to the session view, I've got my clip window on top and my device window on bottom. Kind of fun. So yeah, I'll just let's play for a second. Big ups to all my Slam Academy crew out there in the chat. I want to say hi to you, Dog, and other people who have been around the Slam ecosystem for a long time. For those of you who haven't, let's do it. Every sound in this sketch was made with wavetable. So yeah, every single sound in 1 2-hour session. Wavetable is wicked. Like that mixer on the arrangement view? Oh man, that is right. Look at this. This is me saying Slam Academy, and I dropped it in here and just modulated it out. Now it turned into my bass. Oh shit! So heads up. I appreciate it, Panda Cookies. That's one thing that's really hard to do is mix on OBS when you're not listening, so. But yeah, this is just the sound of my voice that I morphed a little bit and it ended up being a lead bass sound. It's kind of fun, huh? So can you hear me now a little better, guys? Yeah, thanks for the heads up. I was kind of clipping over here. I guess I'm trying to headline. You guys know that joke, red line to headline? That's me. I love those 12th note arpeggios, the triplet. But anyway, yeah, I just figured I'd have a little sketch in here to show off. So yeah, we're talking about the interface. We have this really nice, they call it stacked detail view, where you can see a clip and you can see the device and you can even see the mixer. And that works on the session view as well, and that is glorious. And while we're over here, let's take a look at this stuff. You'll notice in the MIDI clip now, they moved the envelopes over here, and that frees up space for these 2 new tabs that are just amazing. You guys, they have modifiers for your MIDI, and this is, yeah, wait. Yep, modifiers, this is new to me too, so modifiers allows you, it just modifies the current MIDI sequence, and you have a bunch of options here like arpeggiate, adding strums and flams and quantizing notes, etc. And those are all dynamic as you turn the knobs, so it's really dope. But then you also get a generator, and these are gonna generate MIDI content. So let's play around with this a little bit. Can you modify the modifiers with an LFO? That is a classic Doug question. No. Don't ruin my buzz, Doug. There are some clip functions, as veteran Ableton users know, that are not modulatable. But there are workarounds for that. But just in general, if you're trying to just tag an LFO onto one of these guys, love that roller bass in the background. They find a way. You can do it with Max for live, of course, and they, I'm sure, are already feverishly making devices that will do that. So yeah, let's play around with these MIDI generator tools. These are really cool. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my MIDI device, and then we'll just head over to our wavetable. Take this out of loop so the song ends. So here we go. This is going to be sick. So all I got to do is I'm going to come up here to my session view, clip slot grid, and double click, and that's going to create a 1-bar loop. I think I might just go ahead and make it a 2-bar loop, and now I have a 2-bar empty clip. And again, I have 2 different tabs for my generative and modification tabs, or for functions. The modifiers are all in the first tab, and then the next one is all the generators. So let's hang out in generator land first. And you'll notice the generate button is already turned on. So what that's going to do is allow me just to hit this like activate switch right here, and it's just going to generate whatever I've dialed in. So like, oops. So if I hit this, boom, it just generated 8 steps with a density of 4. And while they're active, I can turn these knobs and change what the notes are doing. Look at this jam. I have all these different patterns. I have different steps I can control. And I can even change the step duration. Look at this. Let's make them 16th notes. And we'll increase the density. There you go. So now I have a little pattern. I can control the velocity settings here, and I can scrub the notes left or right as well, which is really cool. So if I don't like what it made, I can just hit the button again, and it'll make a new one. These are kind of static, though, so if I hit this now, it's not going to do anything. If I turn generate off and try a new pattern and change the steps, yada, yada, then I would have to hit that button. So that's the first of the generator tabs. Nick, thanks for the communication. I appreciate you engaging with me in the chat. It's fun, no? So, yeah, this is cool. We got a handful of people out there in the stream right now. It's pretty exciting. So we just played around with the rhythm generator. Let's just hit play on it. I mean, you know what this is going to sound like. It's just a bunch of D notes. In fact, now that I remember my song is in the key of E minor, I'm actually going to turn generate on, and I'm going to change this to E. There you go. So now notice I can transpose those. But yeah, by being on E2, I'll have a nice little E2 rhythm. I'm going to go to the instrument and put it in... maybe we'll just tighten up this envelope a little bit. I can make it a little more buzzy so you guys can hear a little better. I'll add a little filter, and I'm just going to modulate that filter cutoff a tad with one of these envelopes. So now I've got a cool little stream of notes coming from the rhythm generator. And this is just the beginning. So again, we're in the generative tab. If any of you are clicking along, we just have a new MIDI clip in Live 12. And if you are clicking along, good job getting on that beta really quick. I bet probably none of you have this yet now that I think about it. But I do want to say what's up to Bill Collins. Bill is in the stream right now. And Bill, little quick history lesson. Bill knows what story I'm going to tell. Back in 2001 or 2, Bill was one of my teachers at an audio engineering school downtown, and he was one of my first semester instructors. And he was showing me how microphones and recording work, and I pulled him aside after class because I was like, this is a cool dude. I'm just going to be honest with him. And I said, hey man, I'm not really interested in recording bands and shit. I want to create my own sound and produce my own tunes. And Bill gave me some great advice. And I now have given this 2003. I've given this advice to tons of people. And I've said, understanding the nature of sound and how phase and vibration work is really important if you really want to operate on a high level artistically with sound. And a great way to establish that is just by recording stuff, running it through a mixer, bussing it to other channels, running it through effects. I mean, because when we're using Ableton right now, that's exactly what we're doing, right? I just didn't realize that. And if you're anyone out there who doesn't realize it, I highly recommend starting to look at audio from like a signal flow approach and starting to think about it on a molecular level. And Bill like was there for me in a certain pretty early phase of my journey. And so Bill, thank you for being in the chat. It means a ton. You were a big influence on me, even just with the little time we spent together in class. And I think more than ever, your influence on me and my character is the biggest thing I want to thank you for, because your spirit is so kind and gentle, and I aspire to be more like you. So I mean that. So okay, here we go with the generative junk. So back to nerdery. So I generated a rhythm, and that was cool. And I think that's pretty fun, but let's play around with some other of these options. I'm going to flip it over to seed. And seed is a little different. Seed is going to usually be generating things like chords. And again, remember, I'm in the key of E minor, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this in E. And then I can say, okay, I've got a pitch range, a duration range, and a velocity range. I think I want a little higher velocity, up to maybe, 100 sounds good. I got a decent density. How many voices? Let's stick with 4, because those will be like 7 chords. And look, it's already generating it. Isn't that wicked? Now I could just keep hitting this button until I hear something I like. Cheese and rice. So I'm going to delete our little original rhythm, and let's listen to this chaos. Got some K-pop going on now. Let's see what else this thing can make. I'm just going to keep hitting redo. That's pretty neat, huh? So if I turn generate off, I can keep bopping it individually. Otherwise, if I have generate on, I'm going to make a new clip because that's just getting hella chaotic. We're over here in this, and I could keep generate on, and then whenever I make changes, it's just going to go ahead and modify it dynamically during the change. So this is really cool. So if I keep generate on and I have the clip playing, I can be like, let's have a little less density. Oh yeah, I almost have a little bit of a rhythm there. Let's drop the drums in here and see what's going on with that. How about a kick drum? Ah! Like, just keep modifying. Let's go with some 7 chord, 9 chords. This is so wicked. I'm just like still high on this. Put some unison on here. I love this shimmer shit. And notice it's in key, right? So I can totally, let's play that sub bass. I love this roller. Where is it? Is it 808 something? Sub roller bass. Wavetable wub. This guy right here. Wicked. So look, we just played around with seed, and that's our second generative mode. Didn't really plan on spending all this time on these, but that's sick, right? So let's go ahead and make a new clip, and we'll see what else we got in generative land. So in this case, I can flip this over to shape, and this is where we're going to have like more traditional chord shapes. Oh, pardon me. Please forgive me. This is a rhythm generator, and this gives you a little scribble interface. Look at this. Yay. Change the grid. Want some triplets? Change it up. Oh, that one's pretty good. And look, you can totally go to presets. Oops, right here. Look at these guys. Let's modify it. Right? That's pretty tight. You can tie them too. That'll overlap them. So if you have glide turned on, that'll be neat. So look, I can come over here and put this in mono and turn a little glide on, and then Ty is going to start doing some cool glidey acid business. I gotta get my envelope to be a little longer if I want those things to really glidey poo. Look at that. Here's staccato, right, with the new envelope trigger with every note. And you can add a little jitter too, that's gonna take it a little off the grid. Man, that's wicked, right? Arcade creative, no doubt. I know. Honestly, all I do is this and hang out with my family. And whenever I'm with my family, part of me is like, love you guys, but if you only had a generate shape button. So yeah, we played around with shape generation. We played with rhythms and seeds. Let's make, and these are all turning out pretty cool, right? Because they're all in key, which is wicked, eh? So now, what else do we got? We got stacks, and stacks must be the chords one. Yeah, this is the chords one I was thinking of. So let's launch it. And now look what I got. I can create inversions. This is a triad right here. Oh, I got to put the instrument back in polyphony. So now we're just in like generic triad land. But I can totally, well, we're in E minor too, right? So I'm going to flip this up to like E2. That's neat, right? But I can hit plus, and now it's making two of them. Like, how about 4? And if I click on this and adjust it, it's going to make different chords. It's so tight. Put some reverb on there. It's gonna be magical. Yeah, you should. You know what you should do, Doug in the chat said he wants to make a whole new set of instruments for this stuff. When you make your instruments, don't save the instrument presets, save the clips. Because then, you know, if you load the clip later into this empty spot, it'll also load the instruments, but the clips will have, you know, obviously the clip parameters. So that is a tasty idea. So let's make a chord progression with this. Quit dinking around. So I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to turn up my, I'm going to say, let's just make, I'm going to adjust the duration here. Let's make a little chord stab. Right? And then what we can do is we can say, all right, turn up offset. That's fun. I'm going to increase my clip length to make this really work well. So now I've got a stab there. But now let's add another one. I think what I need to do, and I'm kind of just wicking around in here, turn generate off. No. Oh boy, come on, Dad. Maybe one little 8th note chord stab. Oh, and it's the 1/8 the length of the clip. See, we're learning stuff together. I'm going to go back down to 2 bars then, because I want to make this thing a little shorter. I know I did this when I first got this. I was like, chord progression, bam, and I just made a cool chord progression, but now I'm kind of farting around trying to remember how to do it. See, if I adjust this, it's adding another chord. There we go, yep, and now I can go to offset and move it somewhere else. There we go. Let's change that position of that chord to something a little more tasty. Then we'll do another one, eh? Generate again. Oh yeah, you just hit the generate again button and you offset them more. Right? Oh geez. I'm going to need to monkey around with this a little more. This stacks thing is a little confusing, so I'm just not smart. I'm not a smart person. There's a nice little 7 chord. I like that one. And now, how did I do that? We want to generate another one. If I turn generate off, it's going to remove those notes. If I hit go again, it just recreates the one it just created. If I hit move, it moves the current one. I want to create another chord in this clip. I just did it a second ago. Can I blame someone for this? It's going to be a hell of MIDI mapping with my Cuneo. Oh yeah, so Arcade Creative, I had all those Keith McMillan instruments for a while. They're such a pain in the ass. I mean, they're like really cool instruments like to look at, and like when you can get them to play right, they're cool, but the whole mapping environment is just really difficult. I find it's gotten a lot better, but it's not that exciting as far as the mapping junk. Well, yeah, copy and paste would work. Arcade, I could totally do that, but I'm trying to only do it with these buttons. It's like it's a little challenge, because of course you could grab the notes and move them, but oh yeah, look, I turned generate off and it left it in there. So now I'm going to hit go again and it'll make a new chord, and then I can offset it. Fuck. Generate. Maybe if I click off of them and hit go again. Oh, you know what? What if I turn generate off, change the chord, move the distance, and then hit generate again? There you go. Got it. Oh yeah, for sure, Arcade Creative. If you've got an iPad, the Cuneo is really cool, right? Oh no, because look, it still modified the current one. Well, I'm not going to fumble on this anymore, but you got a chance to see stacks. So far we've had great luck. We did, yeah, we did, this one was rhythm generator, right? Or no, this one was not. This was Seed did this one. This was the rhythm. Yep, this is the Seed. This one was Shape. Yep. And then this one was Stacks. So we have one more, I think. Hey, let's go ahead and just keep moving. And I'll figure out how to the workflow with the Stacks thing soon enough. Oh, look, that's all of them. There's a Max for Live one that's built in here called Euclidean. And this is like a Euclidean sequencer, if you're familiar with, like, kind of not unlike the Make Noise Rene Eurorack module. This is pretty cool. This allows you to have 4 different points that are rotating around in a circle, and you can go ahead and it'll spit out sequences for you. And this is great for kind of non-linear sequencing. But let's go ahead. We've generated some now, and now I can go ahead and modify the sequence by adjusting the steps, adjusting the density, adjusting the division, and then I can actually change how many notes are playing in one entire circle. So I can like scramble this up and I'll end up with like cool patterns. Let's turn the density down a bit. Let's hit play on that. Oh, it's super duper low. So I'm going to try and pitch that up a little bit. Here we go. Look, it's changed. Here's all the pitches. This is some Glavin shit right here. So let's move these up. You know, I'm supposedly in E minor, but these notes, none of these notes are in E minor. In fact, I just scribbled it around and we all ended up on every note that's not in E minor possible. It's kind of funny. So I'm just going to make sure we're hitting notes that work in E minor. F sharp is good, A and E. Now we can play around with this. You know, this would be super cool if you did this with an arpeggiator, huh? Let's grab that Live 12 arpeggiator because it's just so sexy. And now we can play around with this. And I'm going to go ahead and increase the steps. I'm going to put the step distance on like a perfect 5th and turn these up. notes are so short. I'm going to go ahead and grab the MIDI note length. And I'm going to grab the MIDI note echo. These are two Live 11 note devices. Note length has been around forever, but note echo is technically a Master Live device. I'm going to put the note length in front of the arpeggiator so I can turn up note length and get more arpeggiations. I'm going to turn my tempo way down. That's fun, huh? Eric Ludwig, what's up? 2 blocks away in Northeast. You got to come hang out. So we got this arpeggiator set. It's in up mode. Let's try and put it on like random other. We're thugging now. I took that for turning in some hip hop shit. So now look, I can take note echo. Let's put that on too. That's fun, huh? Yumbo. So I've got a note length sustaining my note for like a really long ass time. I can put that in clock sync mode. Let's have it do it for like a quarter note. And I want it to be longer than a quarter note, so I'm just going to duplicate that note length. So I'll have 2, it'll make it a half a bar. And if I have 4 of them, it'll give me a whole bar. But since I'm stepping up a perfect fifth, that's going to be kind of dramatic. So you know what I'm going to do? Watch. I'm going to take the arpeggio and I'm going to put it in scale-aware mode. So now it's in E minor all the time. And then I can put the stepping distance wherever the hell I want. And it's always going to be in key. Let me turn my steps up. I can have it go down too. Look at this. I can turn some key tracking down to my filter because I want that thing to be moving around with all these random ass note pitches. So I go to my key position and turn this filtered tracking up a little bit. That'll allow the high notes to really come through nice and the low notes to be dark. Should we add a little harmony from our oscillators? That could be cool. Let's go with like a perfect fifth. Put down an octave, so it'd be like -5. Cool sine wave down there, and we should warp it up a little bit, huh? How about some FM? The arpeggiator in scale-aware mode. Oh my god. Hey Arcade, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you a ton. So yeah, we got to play around with all these different generative modes in the past 20 minutes. We've played around with some good stuff. So, oh yeah, it looks like Doug got a 20% upgrade offer from Live 11 to 12 if you pre-order. 183. Wow. Normally an upgrade from Suite to Suite is about 320-ish bucks, so 183 is about half price. So it says 20%? I don't know. I think then they must be doing a less expensive upgrade than they have in the past. And that's for the Suite from 11 to 12 for 183 bucks. That's great. And Avery has a question in the chat. How you doing, Spory? I can tell I don't believe I'm at liberty to say when it's going to be released, largely because there's a lot to figure out. You know, like with beta testing, sometimes it can go really smoothly, which this honestly has been going really smoothly, but sometimes it can be tricky. So far, it's been really great, and I can say that if it continues to go as well as it has been, it will be in the first quarter of 2024. There is an approximate date that they've set, but I just have to be really careful about what is promised or not promised. Benny Rosas in the chat. Hey, Benny, great to see you, buddy. I love you. It's so nice to see you hanging out. And I also want to answer the question about Doug asked about the academic discount, and I can pretty much promise that you won't be able to apply that 20% upgrade discount to your educational software. I mean, you'll be able to apply it to your educational version of the suite, but there actually is not an educational upgrade path. So, um, so if you get that 20% discount offer for a pre-order on Live 12 upgrade from 11 to 12 suite, I would take it, because while they offer 40% off on the full suite version, they do not offer an educational discount on the upgrade itself. At least historically, I don't think ever have, as long as I can remember in 20 years. So generally, I think it's because they assume, like, so you're in college, right? In 4 years, when we put out the next version, you're probably not still in college. But hey, Slam Academy is in college, so that's, we get exceptions. But anyway, yeah, cool. So that is sick. So Brandon Rice in the chat, say what's up. Nice to see you. Benny, everyone else, great to have you guys here. This has been so much fun. So far we talked, just for those of you who are just showing up, we talked about creating tags in the browser and then searching through tags to find our favorite sounds. We talked about using find similar sounds, which is a really great kind of smart function where you can analyze a singular sound and it will look and find ones that are similar. And then that also feature is built right into the drum rack. So on the drum rack pads, you can flip through sounds. Then we talked about, what else we talked about? We talked about Scale Aware, some of the updates in the live library. Oh, hey, Benny Rosas, I have a trick for you. I have a tip for you that will be better for you than, I just know this is a feature you're going to love. So, Benny, are you out there, baby? Say what's up in the chat. Kalam Balam, Slam Academy is so much better than college. I have to co-sign that. So Benny, if you're out there, say what's up, because I have a special Ableton 12 tip for you that I know you're going to love. Benny Rosas is like one of these hardware machine geeks, so he has all these like synths and drum machines. Here's a really cool feature for those of you not like myself who just love the robots. See this little button up here? It's a button you can turn on in your preferences. Resync external hardware. It took me a second to remember it. Show resync button. If you show this thing, baby, oh baby, you can hit that whenever you want, and it resets all your clocks and all your outputs. So like, if you have something that's out of sync or out of phase or whatever, you can tap that and it'll realign the one on all of your external sequencers and hardware. And that is really fun. Historically, especially with like MIDI beat clock, which is like this 45-year-old technology that just sucks that everyone still uses, shit's getting all latency and out of time and shit. And this isn't going to solve that necessarily, but this will reset the one on your gear. It basically just sends out a pulse to everything to start over the sequence. Neat, huh? So yeah, so where we left off, we were talking about generative tools. This is pretty neat, huh? So we played with the Euclidean sequencer, which was chaotic. We played with stacks, which makes chords. We played with shape. Which one is shape again? Oh yeah, shape is like the snake sequence, cool for like 303 lines and stuff. We played with seed, which is kind of just a note sprayer. It just sprays random notes. That can be really fun. And then, by the way, if you're changing through this and you don't want it to be adding new notes, you just turn generate off, and now you can flip through these and it won't be like kicking new notes out. The rhythm generator is really easy and really fun too. It's just kind of like a little step sequencer. Cool. So yeah, those are the generative tools. So now that we have like a couple sequences in here, let's flip over to the modifiers. So the modifiers offer a whole bunch of cool functions in here. We're probably not going to have time to go over all of them, but the modifiers are really slick because, of course, you can arpeggiate, which is really great. Let's just turn transform off, and we're going to put it into arpeggio mode. And now we can choose our arpeggio. Let's go with like, I really like these thumb modes. They like hit your thumb in between every other note. So it's like, in C major, it'd be like C, E, C, G, C, B, so you can, it's like hits your thumb in between every note. Those are fun. Let's do thumb up, down. And then we can say, I don't know, 8 steps. with a distance of an octave, sure, at 16th notes, with maybe pull the gate back a little bit, bop, and now we just arpeggiated that. And look, we can even see the thumb mode happening live. Let's listen to it. Oh. That's neat, huh? But it's going to be neater if we turn this thing off. I can turn these note lengths off too, eh? That's pretty fun, huh? So that's the built-in arpeggiator. You don't need to see much more of that. You guys probably know how arpeggiators work, but that is super fun. It's like an arpeggiator, but you don't have to play chords. It's pretty cool, huh? So, but it's generative, and so while if you don't like what you made, you can just modify it. Let's do that a little bit, actually. Different random one, hit the button. You know, this would be really fun if it was a bass line, huh? Oh boy. So let's go ahead and just knock this puppy down. Oh, actually I'm vibing on that 2 octave. That's pretty yumbo. Some delay on there. Go ahead and run the sketch. I got some other perks in here, huh? And you know, we were doing this 92 BPM shit. I think I'm gonna stick with it. So that thing sounds pretty sick, right? So that's the arpeggiator. God, look at all these things. So you know what? Just because of time and what, you know, we've been dinking around for an hour and 15 minutes. Look at all these other modes. So connect will link up notes together in time. Ornament will add little flourishes and embellishments and ghost notes. Quantize, you know, will quantize things to the grid. Recombine, I can't really like explain that one right now. Span, I can't either. Strum, you know, like takes quantized notes and pushes them forward or back so it creates more like a flam to make more like organic chords. We could play with that one for a sec. Let's go ahead and make a new clip. And I'm going to go to generate and make one of these chords. So I'm going to click on generate. I'm going to go down to stacks. I'm going to find a cool chord shape. How about this guy? Generate. And now I'm actually going to pull the offset back to the beginning. And I'm going to increase the duration. I really want to just make... Oh, and you hit the plus button to make another one. So now with the second one, let's see. How do I modify just the second one? Yeah, I am just modifying the second one. Well, god dang it. That's how you do it. Earlier, I got all caught up and stuck like Chuck on creating second chords, and it's just the plus button. So let's move this one up to a different root. Or maybe we'll keep it on E, but maybe change the chord shape. Let's try that. We better invert the second one. Cool, so that's working. So now we can go over to the modifiers. I'm going to turn transform off so I can change it without it affecting stuff. And I'm going to go to strum. And we're going to add a little bit of a strum. Look, I just turn the angle it. Look at that. You go all the way, it's like it's a freaking eighth note. Sick, right? Let's go up an octave again on our instrument, back up to the root. That is glorious. Let's add another chord or two, huh? I'm going to increase my clip length. Let's modify this one. Make an inversion. strum. Look at that. Gotta love that, huh? So let's turn transform off and see what else we can do with this. How about time warp? This one was really interesting. Oh, but you know what? My strum didn't stick. I want that strum. That shit was cool. Transform. Oh, and you can push them later early too. Look at this. Oh man, that is tight. Dang. Let's see. So, Eric, no, for the strum, it's just a linear strum. But you could use a different modifier to add a little randomness to the quantization position. I want that in. And now I'm going to go to quantize. And I think I can randomize. There's a way to spray them around a little bit. This one was the one that was confusing to me. No, this is just a stretch. So this will stretch notes. There we go. Variation. The variation will change the note length randomly. Look at that. Can you guys see what's happening right there? That's really fun. Get into some cool little snake fight. Ooh. Here, staccato. I got 3 bars. Am I the only one who's noticing that? I just noticed that right now. Let's go back to our chords. So I'm going to go back to our generator, go to our stacks, add another chord, change the chord shape, turn the inversion down on this last one. There we go. And now decrease the duration. Let's decrease the duration on all of them. This would be a chance, actually, instead of needing to do this, we can just go to the modifier and go to span, put it in staccato, and then decrease the length. That's pretty fun, huh? Danny was feeling the 3 bars, huh? You want to know a cool trick, guys? You can put something at a weird length. Let's go like 3.5 bars. And then we, in fact, sure. And then what we can do, in fact, what if we did like 2.5 bars? And then you can just go to the launch column and say play again every 2 bars, 4 bars. There you go. And you just got to relaunch it. Right? So now you get a asynchronized loop. And here we go. Right? Neat, huh? So I want to go back to that strum mode because I love those little strummies. Yeah, like that. Shit is wicked, no? I'm changing this chord. So we're doing some weird shit here. I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to my clip length and put it back in 4 bars like a normal human. Ben. I did something to just screw this thing up. It's cool sounding. I'm clearly still learning these as well. They're pretty deep. But yeah, these are the modifiers. So guys, I gotta stop. So check it out now. Let's move on. The kind of thing I'm reserving for last is I'm just going to do a quick overview on the 3 new devices in live. So if you've been waiting for this, I don't blame you. These are all these tricks are really fun. There's a handful of other things I haven't covered yet either, but I'm just going to fast forward because I got to cut this pretty soon. But I'm going to take a minute to show you the new instruments in live. Sound cool? Here we go. So I'm going to make a new MIDI track. Yeah, those MIDI transform functions are really interesting, but at the same time, we want to not spend 4 weeks learning them in front of you. So I'll spend the rest of my life learning them and stuff. Oh, hey, 12-inch maxi single mixtape. Greetings from Norway. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Happy, what is it, 8:30 there at night or something? So let's play around with Meld. So Meld is the new synthesizer in Ableton, and there's actually 3 new devices. There's the Granulator 3, which I'm actually probably not going to cover today just because it's amazing, but we just only have so much time left. Meld is the new polyphonic synthesizer, and then there's Roar, which is the new distortion device, and we're going to use them together to create something fun. So let's just start with our generative tools. So I'm just going to double click to create a clip. I'm going to go to generative, and we could do stacks, but I think I'm just going to start with seed. And I'm going to say one voice to start off, and we'll just hit generate here. And then I'm going to go over to arpeggiator, and we'll modify that shit a little bit with an arpeggiator. 16th notes, random, cool. So let's see where we're at. Super low, huh? Oh yeah, I got it in the 0 octave. So I wonder, that's because my seed was set super low. So I'm actually going to undo those moves, and we're going to go to our pitch. And remember, we're in E minor, so I'm going to have to set my root on E. And then for my pitch, I'm going to crank this up. Now it's just like some random bleeps. Let's increase the density. Hey Chris, I'm going to call you back in 15. Is that okay? I'll be on though. I'll keep my ringer on. I'm still in the live stream, brother. Alright, thanks, homie. I'll talk to you soon. I gotta tell you guys, that was Ludacris that was calling me. You ever heard of him? So check it out. So this is cool. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into some chords, I think. Well, no. I need to just get a little more controlled with this melodic thing so it's not like a fucking video game. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we got a little cool kind of low mid melody. So here we go. Time to have some fun with this. First of all, with Meld, you have 2 oscillators, and these are like macro oscillators, meaning that you have these 2 macro knobs, and depending on which oscillator type you have chosen, of which there are many, these macros will do different things. And then in addition to that, you can hit this disclosure triangle to see the modulation matrix. So let's start off with just oscillator A. And I can kind of scrub through my shapes. This is just like a wavetable. I can adjust my tone. So now look, if I change my mode, I can just go to next. Here's my dual basic shapes. Let's noisy shapes. That's cool, huh? Let's sex up our envelope a little bit here. And notice the filter real quick. Look at these filter modes. We have, state variable filters, low pass, high pass, band pass, and some other really fun, freaky ones. Everybody loves a good comb filter. That's fun. Membrane resonator. This is like carpal strong synthesis. We would want to key track that filter cutoff, huh? Like for sure. So we have filter frequency from pitch right here. Oh yeah, we mentioned Aphex Twin earlier. We're totally hitting the sweet spot. Let's turn our volume up. Check out the drive circuit on here. It sounds great. I'll go back to my oscillator envelope and duck it a little bit. How about some spread? Damn, listen to that. So I got this membrane filter. It's like a resonator, right? And I bet if I got it key tracking 1-to-1, I bet I put it at 263, it'll be perfectly harmonizing. Nope. That's pretty cool though, huh? So let's go ahead and add some bass to this thing. So I'm gonna turn on oscillator B. I'm gonna go down an octave. Now we're gonna put a low pass filter on here, maybe even a state variable. Let's do like a 4-pole state variable. Add some resonance. We can envelope plug this one too. And again, if I want my mod matrix, I can just go up here. I got my filter frequency. Let's do it from envelope. Modulation envelope from No, 12-inch maxi single. Art of the Remix is online only, buddy. We're offering it again in early 2023, so please come through. Listen to this instrument, you guys. Oh my god. So I'm just using basic shapes and noisy shapes, but it already sounds pretty cool. Let's turn off that resonant filter. We're just on this guy. Let's flip through a couple more of these shapes. Square syncs, you have a sync frequency. Pulse width on a square wave with a harmonic fifth. Let's increase our envelope a little bit, alright? It's a little plucky. Turn on the stack for some unison. Let's try this spring, let's try this plate resonator. This is like a plate reverb. Ooh. Cool and atonal with that key tracking on there, huh? Let's go back to that key tracking amount. I'm gonna get rid of that now. Yeah. Bring that bass back in. Let's see what else we got. Here's sub bass, you know what that sounds like. Swarm signs, this is really cool. Let's go ahead and make a longer decay, get those swarms up. Oh man. Let's turn off the filter. Listen to this. Swarms of sine waves. There's also swarm, and by the way, the swarms are scale sensitive, scale aware. Whenever you see that flat sharp symbol, that means it's creating swarms of sines or swarms of whatever, but they're all in key. Look at this. Motion is like chorus, you know, it's like detuning them. Oh my god. Doug has a question about the load on memory and CPU. I find it to be pretty solid. I mean, I'm live streaming with OBS. I have a million apps running and it's pulling it off, and my computer's like 8 years old. These swarms, sine wave swarms are great, huh? Oh my god. So look, you got other modes too. We left off about this far. There's also triangle swarms, saw swarms, square swarms, and then there's harmonic FM, which is just, built-in FM oscillator. There's a wave folding FM, and a bunch of other ones, some digital chiptune sounds, and crusty alien kind of atonal sounds in here too. There's even rain and bubbles. So it's like bubbles being popped and rain droplets. Those are oscillator types. And when you choose those, these macros will do different things, obviously. It's great, huh? So we got unison, we can mix them over here. It's standard business. And then mod matrix is nice, but let's go ahead and move on real quick just in the interest of time, because I have a... Did you guys catch that? Ludacris just called me? I can brag about that. It's my dude. He's like a rapper. So anyway, check it out. So time to look at Roar. So with Roar, this is a 3-stage distortion circuit, and the 3 different stages can run in parallel or series or multi-band or mid-side mode. If you hit this disclosure triangle, shit gets really sexy. So look at this now. So down here, right in this window, I can choose, do I want 1 distortion circuit, or do I want 3 or 2 or 3 in series? Or do I want to put them in parallel, like side by side, or multi-band, so I have high, mids, and lows? Oh my god. Oh yeah, somebody asked me about turning music down. Thank you so much. Thanks, Hitanzu, for letting me know. It's one thing that's really hard to do with OBS is like monitor the mix levels. I'm just kind of yelling at the mic, so thanks for the heads up. Kalam Balam, there are no EQ8 upgrades in the current build. I can't promise that there won't be soon, but you can of course always use the envelope follower for your own custom dynamic EQs. Shoot me an email, jp@slamacademy.com. I'll shoot you a little video I made about that. It's quite fun. So let's play around with Roar real quick. So if you look at Roar, I've got 3 different distortion stages. Then I have 2 LFOs, an envelope follower, which can be really cool, and then noise generator for random shapes, and these can be 4 different kinds of stepping shapes. And then the modulation matrix is right over here. So let's start with it in series mode, or just in single mode. So we just get 1 distortion circuit. And right now we're in soft clipper, so let's just listen. So each stage has its own filter. So this is literally 3 different filters. You can put the filter before or after the distortion circuit. And this is like obviously the drive into the circuit. And then you can kind of push the filter, the distortion frequency to the left or right to get like more or less clipping. See what I mean? That could be a really fun thing to modulate. I think it'd be cool if we took like one of our random generators. Let's go to noise. Go to shape or bias and just give that a little movement. We can do shape or one amount too. There we go. So now bias and amount are both getting modulated. That's slick. But we can try any of these other different modes too. There's digital and analog modeled clipping options here. The tube sounds really good, but there's also weird ones like noise injection and shards and polynomial. Check out the tube though. So we're getting kind of a lot of grit, and it's probably because we have harmony happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the swarm, and we'll just have a monophonic, like more like a bass line without chords. And that'll respond a little nicer to our distortion. So I'm going to give us a little more glide. This is our filter envelope. Now let's play around with this. A little less filter modulation, so I'm going to go to my matrix, decrease that envelope to the cutoff. I'm going to put the instrument in mono. Now we'll really get tasty distortion out of this. Look at this, you get a little mix mixer for the output. I'm gonna tame it a little bit. Let's use an LFO to modulate that filter, just to be basic. So last thing I touched will be lit up. We can give it a little gain here. I'm gonna take this out of sync. And you know, I'm gonna put these in parallel now that we have one all reeled in. So now I have another distortion circuit that's in parallel, meaning it's on the input, not on the output of the distortion module. Let's do something a little more weird. Let's go with fractal. Right? Yumbo. How about we put a little random on that stage 2 amount as well. We could do an envelope follower on that one too, that'd be sick. So you can see the distortion moving from the volume of the incoming signal as well as the random stepper. We could try different random circuits. I kind of want to add a little more bass to this patch, so I'm going to head over here and instead of this, I'm going to go with like the harmonic FM, and I'm going to knock this down an octave as well. How are my levels out there, guys? Everything sounding okay? Look at this, now I have bass going through these circuits. So yeah, this is Roar. And I haven't even turned up the drive. It's in fully dry, or fully wet. We can put it in parallel. Then you have feedback too on the circuit, so it'll take the output and drive it back into the input. You'll get kind of a flanger type effect if you have the frequency really low. You can also use it like a delay if you have it in triplets or dotted or nodes. I'm kind of liking it in flanger mode though. This is cool, right? Let's fold this up. And let's just go ahead and grab another instance of Roar, because I really want some mid-side, or I want some 3-band distortion on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put Roar on Roar. Thanks for the feedback in the chat. I want to make sure my levels are good. So now let's take this new instance of Roar and let's put this one on multi-band. This is ballin', because now look what I can do. I got a bass, a mids, and a highs. Let's just go to our highs. And let's try the polynomial mode. Or wait, there's one that's the wave shaper. I'm trying to remember what that is. Shards is like a noise model. Triangle fold. Let's modulate this bias here. This will be really cool. We can scrub around on our triangle wave. I'm going to use the noise shape for that bias. There, now we're scrubbing around just on the highs. You can adjust the frequencies down here for your bands if you want. Let's drive it a bit. I'll pull the dry wet mix back too. Grab some feedback. I'll make this one like a delay. See what we can do to our mid-range. Let's do a full wave rectifier on the mids. And it just goes to all hell. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah. Look at this. So yeah, this polynomial one's wild. I'm sticking with the half rectifier. That's pretty cool. Wow, huh? As for the bass, I love a good tube on the bass. Let's turn that on. Look at that shit, huh? Wow, huh? So yeah, that's pretty neat, huh? Look at that! Squeaking along. Yeah, you guys, I mean, there's no way you could go through everything. I tried to do this for 1 hour and it was 1 hour and 45 minutes, but I just like love Live 12. I just love making music, honestly, but 12 is a lot of fun features. So just like, I mean, I know you guys, a lot of you were here, but as a quick recap, look at what we can do here. Interface-wise, your clip window and your device window could be on the same screen. More devices have pop-out views too, so you can literally not even look at the session view if you want. You get these little toggle switches to hide everything. And remember, when you're on the arrangement view, you also have the ability to see the mixer, and that's just Option Command M. Wild, right? And so then in addition, don't forget there's Scale Aware up top. We talked about all these cool browser improvements like tags, creating tags. Also searching and finding similar sounds. Talked about the drum rack and how that has a similar sound functionality built in. Also, the browser has a previous and next history, which is really nice. Those are all really great functions that are just going to make life a lot easier using Ableton. As far as fun, creative things, there's so many cool options in the MIDI clip for generating MIDI sequences and modifying them. I think that's where we got sucked in the most today. But then not only do we have Roar and Meld, but we also have an updated Granulator 3. So like Doug out there in the chat, I know you just like love Granulator. So wait till you see Granulator 3. It's awesome. I'm going to be going live again at 5 p.m. Central. So I realized for my friend in Finland that will be super late. But for anyone else who's out there, like stateside and is around happy hour, come on through these same channels at 5 p.m. and we can do more of this. And maybe what I'll do is I'll focus on Granulator and some of the other features we didn't get to today. So yeah, congratulations to the world about, you know, this whole Live 12 thing. It's really exciting. And yeah, Kalam Balam, if you make it through at 5 p.m., I'll show you how to do that dynamic EQ trick using envelope follower, if you don't already know. So, yeah, I'm JP at slamacademy.com. That's how you can get a hold of me, JP at slamacademy.com. Otherwise, you can just go to our website, which is, of course, slamacademy.com, and you can just call the general phone number. No shit. If you guys did that today, guess what? I would answer the phone. So, like, my number is literally on the website. Don't tell stalkers. Not that I have any stalkers. But, yeah, Marissa, Hitansu, Bard, Robot, Loud, Kalam, Doug, 12-inch maxi single, Bunny Rosas, etc. You guys have been wonderful. Thanks for keeping me company in the chat. I really appreciate your time. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get a chance to work with you soon. Remember, Slam Academy memberships are only $100 a month. That's where they start. You can get that educational discount on the software if you need it. You can hang out with me like multiple hours a week. It's all included. And we can just get super weird. And you're going to find nothing but kind and inclusive and welcoming and warm-spirited people at Slam Academy who just really want to support you in your musical process. I mean, that's our dream, so you can help us live it by just coming through. So we'd love to hang out with you. And I guess with that, I'll probably kill this stream, but it has been a lot of fun, guys. Live 12, congratulations. If anyone, again, has any questions about any of this stuff, don't hesitate to hit me up, and I will be very, very honored to hang out with you anytime. It's sad to turn this thing off, but I hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back at 5 p.m. Central. All right. Peace.